This is our place, come on in. Our place, so glad you're here. Our place, everybody's welcome. We see God on every face. Love lives here in this place. Welcome to our place, our sweet place.
Hi, I'm Kelly Robbins, lead practitioner at Center for Spiritual Living, Boulder Valley. Welcome to our online community. Colorado is now in a safer at-home phase of surviving the coronavirus pandemic and keeping our community safe. What this means for us is that we will continue throughout the month of May to provide our services online, community and connection via our website, YouTube channel, and on Facebook. In this week's service, you'll find an opportunity to deepen your connection with your spiritual self through music, inspiration, spiritual practice, and our message. We will also share with you a variety of ways to continue to give financially, opportunities to give back through outreach activities, and a variety of options to virtually connect safely with others. I invite you to sit back, relax, open your heart, clear your mind, and connect with your divine self as we begin the service. Thank you for being a part of our online community, and enjoy.
Hi, I'm Jim Babcock. I'm a licensed practitioner in science of mind and spirit, and I'm here today to set the tone for our guest speaker, Reverend Jody Hill Stevenson. So let's go within and remember that the divine is present at all times. Even though we might feel challenged, God is there. The presence, the power, everything that you can imagine is about to come forth through you. We are all connected, heart to heart, soul to soul, in a way that lifts each one of us up and connects us to people we don't even know around the world. We notice in each and every moment how we are becoming more and more aware of the oneness that we own, that we are. And I know that the Center for Spiritual Living in Boulder Valley is the perfect place to be. It is a group of people who are committed to the highest truth, shining their light as bright as possible, and letting their love flow, for love lives here. So, with that in my heart, with that in my consciousness, I just say thank you and let it be. And say, and so it is. So now it's time for our purpose, mission, and vision. And if you'd like to read along with me, that would be great. Our purpose: celebrating divinity, embracing humanity, and creating community. Our mission: providing tools and support to awaken our community to its spiritual magnificence. And our vision: inspiring and uplifting every one of us to transform the world. Yes, that is who we are. That is how we show up in the world. And I am so grateful. And so if you'll notice over my shoulder over here, I have a beautiful candle that's lit that represents the light within each one of us, that Christ consciousness that allows us to shine brightly for everyone around us, but also shine for ourselves so we don't get lost in the darkness. So now, If you'd like to close your eyes, I have a few short readings that I'd like to share with you. The first one: be careful what you water your dreams with. Water them with worry and fear, and you will produce weeds that choke the life from your dream. Water them with optimism and solutions, and you will cultivate success. Always be on the lookout for ways to turn a problem into an opportunity for success. Always be on the lookout for ways to nurture your dream. That's from Lao Tzu. And from Rumi: we may know who we are, or we may not. We may be Muslims, Jews, or Christians, but until our hearts become the mold for every heart, we will only see our differences. And finally, from Hafiz: I have learned so much from God that I can no longer call myself a Christian, a Hindu, a Muslim, a Buddhist, a Jew. The truth has shared so much of itself with me that I can no longer call myself a man, a woman, an angel, or even pure soul. Love has befriended me so completely, it has turned to ash and freed me of every concept and image my mind has ever known. Breathe that in. Feel the essence of those beautiful words. And we'll sit in the silence for just a moment. And now, a beautiful song from our Karen Karsh.
Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to be with all of you today. Just sit back, relax, and receive. I'm gonna hold you in the light, hold you in the light, hold you till you know again that everything's alright, and I'll remind you, as you are enough. I'm gonna hold you in the light. I'm gonna hold you in the light, hold you in the light, hold you till you know again that everything is alright, and I'll remind you, as you are enough. I'm gonna hold you in the light of love. Gonna hold you in the light of love.
Wasn't Karen wonderful? Okay, let's go within and let's pray. Yes, as each breath rises and falls within each one of us, we relax into this moment. We relax into the divinity of the all. We sit here together knowing that Center for Spiritual Living in Boulder Valley is living the highest truth, dreaming the biggest dream, loving from the place of heart. I know that each individual is healthy, wealthy, wise, for they invite spirit in every breath they take. I know that this moment is our best moment and only moment. For the time is now for each one of us to expand, to grow, to let our vibration lift us up and move us forward. I say, thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Universe, for providing such unbelievable opportunities and possibilities. Thank you for having each person in this congregation and around the world joining in the celebration of life, the celebration of oneness. And so I breathe in one more time and allow all the love that is around us and within us to flow in a perfect flow of energy, of light, of being, and lift each one of us up. There's nothing else for us to do but be there, be here, and let it go. So in this moment, I just say, and so it is. And so again, here's Karen Karsh with a little music for us.
Alleluia, 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 Alleluia. We are one now. 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 So we sing Alleluia. 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 Alleluia.
All right. Thank you, Karen. It was beautiful as always. And I'd like to introduce our guest speaker today, Reverend Jody Hill Stevenson. She has been a guest speaker in the human happiness profession since 1979. Does that mean she's old? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. As a professional speaker, she is most interested in giving her audiences pearls of wisdom for everyday life. As a timeline counselor and hypnotherapist, she witnesses miracles with clients as they awaken to their own genius. As a religious science ordained minister for over 33 years, she delights in sharing her ancient wisdom. And, our speaker agrees with the Spanish proverb, how beautiful it is to do nothing and then rest afterwards. I like that. So please join me in welcoming Reverend Jody Hill Stevenson.
Good morning, everyone. I am so happy to be here with you. I hope you know how special your community is to me and how special each and every one of you are to me. I wish I could give you great big hugs right now, but I can't. So I am sending you oodles of love through my heart and squishing it into the computer, into your heart. So my goodness, what an interesting time we're in. Did we all think that we would experience a pandemic in our lives? You know, I was thinking this morning that 100 years from now, or 300 years, or 1,000 years from now, I think that historians, scientists, psychologists, ministers, politicians, people from all walks of life will be examining this time. So in a way, this is a very sacred time. I want to acknowledge that the pandemic is causing everyone to feel something. Some people feel it's a time to relax and redesign themselves. Other people are going through sheer hell. So I just want to acknowledge that there's a full gamut of possibilities here in this pandemic. And I think that the pandemic has a special message for us. You and I know that we create our reality from our thinking and from our words. We know that. The ancient sages told us that, and now the scientists, the modern day scientists, are proving that we literally create our reality from our thinking and the words that we use. By the way, I just want to add, my assistant is right down here, and he might move a little bit. Some of you know Dewey, my black cocker. And if he starts to snore, it's not Tom, it's Dewey. So I just wanted you to know that. But I wanted him to be here with us. So we create our reality with our thinking, and there is something that I keep hearing that I am very, very concerned about. I think about this all the time. We create our reality from our thinking, and I'm hearing something from the mountainside of Hollywood to the White House, with politicians, the medical world, everyday people, the grocery store clerks, my family members, all over the place. I am hearing something that's very concerning to me. So I want to talk with you about that today and see what we're saying, what we're really saying, and what we really want. So the phrase that I keep hearing is, I just want to go back to normal. When the pandemic is over, I want to go back to being normal. And my comment is, oh, no, we don't. No, we don't. Not at all. We don't want to go back because normal literally means conforming to a man-made average standard, the usual, the expected. And the language of normal has been name-calling, bullying, raging, sarcasm, on and on and on. And the feeling of normal has been that we are separate from each other. Brene Brown, who is such a great sage on the subject of shame, writes, "We will not go back to normal. Normal never was. Our pre-corona existence was not normal other than we normalized greed, inequity, exhaustion, depletion, extraction, disconnection, confusion, rage, hoarding, hate, and lack. We should not long to return, my friends. We are being given the opportunity to stitch a new garment, one that fits all of humanity and nature." So we're really being asked to go from normal to natural. What does that mean? So as a little girl, I was taught very early on how to be sarcastic, how to judge, how to be harsh, how to be confused all the time, how to live in lack. And out of that belief system that was modeled for me, and one that I developed, I developed some pretty interesting addictions and compulsions, of which I am so grateful. I'm one of those spiritual people that have come through the world of recovery, and I am so grateful for all and everything that I have experienced along the way. So I started smoking when I was 12 years old. My mother actually taught me how to smoke along with some friends. And I used to practice in front of the mirror so I would look sexy. So by the time I was 29, I had developed a 3-pack a day habit of smoking. Had I had time to go to the grocery store, no, I wouldn't have bought a pack of cigarettes, but pretend this is a cigarette. So I am smoking 3 packs a day of Marlboros. And in my day, they were only 50 cents a pack, but that was a lot in those days. So by the time I was 29, my mother had died and I was a brand new mother. And I knew in my heart that I needed to change because my addictions and my compulsions were really starting to take over my life. And the first place I started was with my cigarettes. So I decided to go to a smoking cessation course. It was a 10-week course. And the reason I decided to go there was because I could continue smoking while I learned how to quit. So one night, it was a Tuesday night in February of 1979. My mother had died. I had a brand new baby. My husband was actually on assignment in Saudi Arabia, so I was alone. He wasn't in the military, he was an architect. That's a whole different sermon. So I'm deciding to go to this course, and I'm in the middle of the course, Tuesday night, and our moderator stands up, and there's about 100 of us in this class, and we're all smoking. Can you imagine the secondhand smoke in that room? So I'm sitting in the front row. I am literally sitting in the front row, and the moderator stands up at the pulpit or at the podium, and she looks out and she says, "Good evening, class. What we're going to talk about tonight, some of you already know, and some of you don't know, but you'll want to know, and some of you don't know, and you will not want to know what I'm about to say." So I'm over here in the front row, and I have my new cigarette, and I'm lighting it with my old cigarette. She looks out at the group and she goes, "You, and you, and you, and you." She points her finger right at me and she goes, "You are at choice in life." And that was one of the most profound moments of my journey. It went in. So I put my 2 cigarettes down and I went, I'm at choice? I have choice in what does that mean? And that night she gave us this, and for the last 41 years of being in the human happiness profession, I have read this to thousands of people and handed it out to thousands. It is one of the most special messages I have ever received in a smoking cessation class, learning how to quit smoking. It's written by the wisest of all sages, unknown. Today I choose to live by choice, not by chance, to make changes, not excuses, to be motivated, not manipulated, to be useful, not used, to excel, not compete. I choose self-esteem, not self-pity. I choose to listen to the inner voice, not the random opinions of others. That night, I got that I could be different. I got that the way I was creating my life was not life enhancing. I was in the normalcy of my family system. Nobody knew. We thought smoking and drinking and all those things were sexy. They weren't. So I started to wake up, And it's been a long journey. I've been to so many courses. I've had so many amazing teachers, so many therapists, went into the profession of being a therapist and a religious science minister. And it has been the greatest joy of my life. And what I have come to realize is that the spiritual path is the path of authenticity. We are meant to be happy. We are meant to go from normal to living a natural life. And I think the bridge between the two, normal living and natural living, I think it's very small, and I think there's only 2 steps. Let's talk about those 2 steps. The first one is to make the choice to do so. The second one is to come from our hearts and to be kind to each other, and especially to the one in the mirror. I want to share with you a story that happened last week with me at Whole Foods. There were about 10 of us in the shop, and I had my mask on, and I had my gloves, and I had my sunglasses, and I think I had a silly hat on. And I got to the clerk, and I put my groceries on the conveyor belt, and there was a gentleman in front of me. And I was just kind of thinking about my day and what I was doing. And I think that, excuse me, I think that we are given opportunities moment by moment by moment to be our true natural selves, to come from our hearts and move out of our heads, express from our hearts, and be kind. So I'm standing there, and a gentleman is paying for his groceries, and he's kind of fiddling with his bag. Then the clerk starts to add up my groceries, and I look at her, and she was about 17. She was just gorgeous, and so she had her mask on. I had my mask on. I don't believe the gentleman did. And I said to her, I know this is your livelihood, but I just want to thank you for your beautiful smiley eyes and tell you how beautiful you are. You're a beautiful young lady. And she kind of looked at me like, wow, people don't usually do that. And I said, I mean that. I mean that. So she's still moving my food along, and the guy in front of me looks at her and says, well, don't let that go to your head. And in that moment, I knew I was in the middle of a cosmic pop quiz, because I think about that all the time. And I felt the fire just come up from the bottom of my spine up to the top of my head. And I looked at him, and I looked at the young gal, and I looked at him again, and I said, you know, this fine gentleman is right. Don't let what I said go to your head. I'm going to ask you to put it into your heart, because what I said, I meant. And she's again doing this, and she's going, uh-oh, there could be a problem here. And the man looked at me, and he said, well, I was just trying to be funny. Now, in the past, I might have pursued more of a conversation, but fortunately, I've healed enough. So while I may not have gotten an A+ in that experience, I may have gotten maybe a C, or maybe a B, because I didn't say anything else, but I could have. But I think that we need to stop being sarcastic. Sarcasm comes from the Greek word sarkazon, and it literally means to cut the flesh. We need to just show up and be authentically kind with each other. So during this pandemic, the message is to stop everything and reevaluate everything, from our thinking, the words we use, to the way we are with our environment. Natural living is to live in harmony with all of life, to come from a place of respect and trust and kindness. Lao Tzu, the great Tao sage, says, when man interferes with the Tao, the sky becomes filthy, the earth becomes depleted, the equilibrium crumbles, creatures become extinct. In harmony with the Tao, the sky is clear and spacious, the earth is solid and full, all creatures flourish together, content with the way they are, endlessly repeating themselves, endlessly renewed. So nature is asking us to come from our authentic natural self, to be kind to each other, to be kind to the earth. Many of you know that my sons live in Alaska, and I used to live up in Fairbanks, Alaska for 3.5 winters. We go by winters up there. Life-changing, but that's a year of sermons right there. But I was recently talking to someone when I was up there, and they told me that a group of people had just recently gotten together, and they did a memorial service for a 7,000-year-old glacier that had melted away in the last 4 years. We need to pay attention. We need to live naturally. We need to live with each other and live with the Tao. So this week, my assignment to all of us, I'm going to ask us to practice moving out of normal, going over the bridge of choice and kindness into being natural. This week, please wear a mask. Please wear gloves, wash your hands often, stay 6 feet apart, and please practice respectful behavior. And I just want to say, I just want to acknowledge the politicians who are showing up with masks. I think that's very, very courageous of them, and they're great leaders to be doing that, because science and medicine is telling us that we need to protect this beautiful natural being of ours. So please wear your mask. If you go to the grocery store, I'm going to ask you to be kind with your eyes. I went to Costco the other day and I took it on before I walked in with my mask and my gloves, and I'm covered. I wanted to smile to as many people as I could with my eyes. I had so much fun with that. So many people turned away, but so many people greeted me with their eyes. So let's practice being kind to each other, to the earth, but most importantly, to that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul looking back at you in the mirror. Oh, I can't wait to hug that being. Please be kind. Think positive, kind, gentle thoughts to that one in the mirror. To finish, I'd like to share with you what Dr. Ernest Holmes writes. Nature will not let us stay in any one place too long. She will let us stay just long enough to gather the experience necessary to the unfolding and advancement of the soul. This is a wise provision, for should we stay there too long, we would become too set, too rigid, too inflexible. Let's embrace this pandemic. Let's choose to be kind to all and everything and to live in harmony, which is our natural state. I love you all, and I hope to see you soon. Have a great day. Bye.
Here we are. We're not in the same room, but I'm thinking about you, and we don't know what the very next thing is that we should do, but we'll make it through. We'll make it through, and here we are. what's gonna happen is I will make it through. We're gonna make it through. Right now, times are hard. And right now, I know life feels tough. But there's so much to learn when things are rough. Remember, we're gonna make it through. We're gonna make it through. Here we are in the same time and space. My heart's with you. Your heart's with me in God's sweet place. And God's with me and God's with you. Feel that angel on your shoulder, and we're gonna make it through. We're gonna make it through. Everyone we love, and I'm talking to you. We're gonna make it through. Here we are.
Now is the time that we are going to take together to celebrate the actual beingness and the physicalness of this beautiful community, this beautiful beacon of light. So if you would, take your checks in hand or put your hands to your heart. And if you donate or if you send your gifts through with a pigeon or however you get it to the Centers for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley these days. And let's just take a moment to give thanks for the opportunity to give, because we know that as we give, we receive. We know that as we celebrate life, we experience joy, and we do this all together with our wonderful Boulder Valley tribe. So if you would join me in the affirmation, this perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive, and so it is. Thank you, God. You all have a fabulous week, and I hope to see you soon to give you great big hugs. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you, Reverend Jody Stevenson. We so appreciate your message and prayer. Thank you for being with us. I'd also like to thank our practitioner in service this week, Jim Babcock. On music, I'd love to thank our amazing Karen Karsh and Catherine Snyder for putting this video together and making services available for all of us while we're staying at home. And now for our announcements. Our outreach for May is again Sister Carmen Food Bank. There is such a need for food in our community right now with people unable to work and the stay-at-home orders throughout this month. So we are continuing with Sister Carmen and the food bank. Our Board of Trustee member Jim Shank is available to pick the food up at your location and bring it to Sister Carmen for you. We also have a stay-at-home mask sewing team. Our member Twyla Ryan has arranged with Clinica Campesina for us to sew sewing masks. She has packets of 10. Bring them, you can pick them up off her porch, sew the 10 masks, and then Clinica Campesina is using them for their employees to help them stay safe. So it's a wonderful opportunity to give back if you are interested and able to sew. Now for connection opportunities we have this week. We have our tea on Tuesdays at 9:30 a.m., 9:30 to 10:30 with our practitioner, Barbara Fang Babcock. That is done via Zoom. You can access the Zoom link on our website under the events section or in our Monday newsletter. We have this direct Zoom link right there. It's easy to access. For the evenings, we have On Wednesday, a meditation and discussion from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. with practitioner Claudia Milner. And again, that Zoom link is in the same places. It's on our website under the events section or in our newsletter that comes out each Monday. You just click the link and you'll go straight there. So I hope to see you and be able to connect in either one of those avenues. And now, Jim will lead us in the benediction. Jim?
So join me in our benediction, please. I now walk so that whoever walks beside me dwells in the presence of God. I now listen so that whoever speaks with me knows that I hear the voice of God. Whoever places a hand in mine is lifted, and whoever thinks of me is illumined with God consciousness. For spirit and I are one eternally, and so it is.
Here we go, everybody, sing. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, yeah. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Original music written and performed by Karen Karsh. Copyright held by Karen Karsh Crystal Music. All rights reserved.